Oh well, let's go and we'll go and get changed. We'll go into Lloydie's and we'll get some decent gear ready for the show. Lloydie,
hey,
good to see you,
how you going, mate?
Having us,
good to see you.
We're here at Lloyd's Menswear.
Oh, Reese is here. Yeah, no, he's here.
What do you got for me?
Oh, I got that jacket you ordered.
Yeah, which one? The black one?
No, the navy one.
Oh, mate, that's a ripper. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a pure merino wool, old son.
Oh, beautiful. I can't wait to try this one on.
Yeah.
Where'd you say Reese was?
Oh, he's probably in that one.
Oh! Ah! Tiana, we're here for our booking.
Perfect. Go in and grab a seat. Thomas will look after you guys.
Awesome. Thomas. True, how are you, mate? Very good. Have a tea with him. Have a seat, Ray. Let's do this. Wow. Welcome to the second episode of A Kick in the Bush. My name is Chris Cook and I'm here with Reese Robinson, my esteemed co-host, and we've got Jeff McKeon behind the camera and trying to work out some of our microphone issues. How are you, Reese?
Good, mate. Great to be here. Now, I'm looking at your neck over here. It looks awesome. Thomas has done a great job there getting the old man hairs off the back.
He has indeed, but I'm a little bit worried. I'm not sure what time did we go on? The bow tie scene, was that a bit too early for 7:01? Or?
I think it might have been. We'll have to push it back to 8, I think.
we might have to. How's this backdrop? Bairnsdale Party Hire. Magnificent. The balloons, the jukebox.
Balloons, yeah.
The slushy machine. Thank you, Ben.
If you need a slushy machine, make sure you give them a call down at Party Hire and get it for your next function.
Absolutely. So listen, straight off the bat, we'd like to thank you all for your support with the program thus far. You know, we're trying to get a little bit more notoriety and some more attention to country, community sport, football, netball in particular, and so far we've had a lot of support and we're grateful.
Yeah, and the real stars over the last month have obviously been the youth girls and a couple of the over 35 boys with letting the cameras go out and them doing a lot of the interviewing and all that sort of stuff. We've been down to boxing. You made your way down to boxing, which was awesome. Live crosses. That's some award-winning tally down there when I watched that.
That was a very good night. So we've taken your feedback on board, and tonight's show we're going to try and keep it within an hour. We've gone to a Wednesday night, so it gives the footballers and the punters 2.5 days to watch our previews of the games before they happen.
Let them psych up, see who's the ins and outs.
Exactly, and who we've put the moz on. On tonight's show, we've got some special, some old guests to come back. We've got some new guests. We're going to have some experts on from Clubland. We've got Pillow Talk, and we've got a new segment and a new guest interviewer as well. So on that note, let's welcome our first guests. Our first two guests are from the South Lindenau Footy Club, Netball Club. We're not only going to have a chat with them about themselves, because it's the first time they've been on the show, but we're going to put them under the pump and put them on the spot about round 15 for the Omeo District Football Netball League. The first one is a current A and B grade netball coach at Lucknow South. She's got a long and esteemed netball history in the region, having played at Painesville and Wyong, where she won BNFs and premierships. More recently, she's taken up the challenge of playing and coaching A and B grade netball grades at Lucknow South, where they famously won their first A grade netball flag in 2020. Please give a warm welcome to Alana Solomon. Our other guest is the current Vice President at the Lucknow South Football Netball Club. He hasn't played a game of footy since under-13s at Emerald in the Dandenong Ranges.
And we're looking to quiz him on that.
We are. He's right on our footy IQ, I suspect. But more importantly, he's been a junior football assistant coach and team manager at the Swampies since 2013. That's 10 years almost. That included the 15-year Brout-Draking 2019 under-16 flag. Please give a big kick in the bush welcome to Richard Dick Bakos. Dick, how are you, mate?
How you going, Dick?
Thanks.
Now, first one, mate. You give up footy at the ripe old age of 13 out of the under-13s. Just went straight into administration. What happened with your footy career?
Benched for a whole losing grand final. Thought it was time to try something else as the guys were getting big and I wasn't.
Yeah,
so,
nice, mate.
Yeah. Got out in the mud and raced BMX for a few years and had a bit of fun doing that.
Awesome. How's the Swamps going in general as a club?
The club's travelling really well. Plenty of people at training, plenty of families hang about, especially after the games. Home games on Saturdays are always terrific. Seniors are on top, obviously. Juniors are second. A grade netball smashing it as well, and B grade. So yeah, it's a good vibe. There's a lot of excitement coming into finals. As always, we've had a few years of finals. Obviously, a few years off with COVID, or a couple of years off. But yeah, very exciting.
Work. Now, Lana, just touching on a little bit more detail than netball. Is it going pretty well out there? As
Yeah.
Dick touched on?
Yeah, girls are going pretty well. My B grade squad's currently sitting undefeated on top, with the A grade just with the one loss. So yeah, getting ready to hit our finals.
So, Dick, in the senior footy, tell us about who you've been your good players this year, who are some of the up-and-comers, some that we should be keeping our eye out for as the finals approach.
Yes, well, obviously, say Sam Howden's probably my favourite. He's a big standout. He's been there for a lot of years, looking really fit, having a great time, been practising a lot on his goal kicking. He's a bit scratchy. The young guys, Seth Smith down front, big help for Max Solomon down there as well. Terrific young bloke. I coached him in juniors, so I've got to pump his tyres up. Will O'Keefe's there. You've got two O'Keefe brothers playing a bit of seniors with their dad, Robert, who's also the junior coach. So yeah, pretty tight-knit fraternity that. And then you've got Mitchie Neal, who's just shredding the midfield and half-back line. Really solid performer, and put them all together. I think that's the surprise package right there, actually.
Awesome stuff. Alana, how are you enjoying it, and what's special about the Swamps? Obviously, you know, from an outsider looking in, it is a very tight-knit club, and you seem to be able to hold your players all the time. You know, what makes it such a special club out there?
Yeah, I think for us, probably the biggest thing was, you know, we've got uncles, and some of us have got some parents that have played out there. So we've had our Uncle Blue Boy who played out there, Uncle Pee Wee, who's no longer with us, as well as Uncle JB. So, you know, Albie and that used to play out there. So we've got a big history within our mob, in our community. That's our home club for some of our families. So yeah, we were challenged to head out there, and the girls, we seem to just stick together. Some of our girls have never even won a flag or a premiership before, so we were able to do that with most of them a couple of years ago, but we've just got some unfinished business with a few others that need to get over the line, so that's the goal this year.
Well, let's hop into a preview of round 15 of the Omeo District Football Netball League. So round 15, we'll have a quick chat about the footy first, I think, Dick, and then we'll roll through the netball, Lana, with you. So the first game of the round is Swifts Creek second, coming up against Bruthen, the Bulldogs, who are in sixth. Am I reading correctly that the last time they met, Bruthen won by 135 points?
That is correct, and I'm thinking it could be more this time around. I see the Creek just knocked off Swanee, so the informed team in the
Yeah.
comp. So
Bruthen are struggling big time. They're not for lack of trying. Some of their efforts on the field look pretty good, and the scoreboard doesn't always reflect the quality of play. However, I think Swift's in for a bit of a practice match this week. So,
and listen, they're obviously second, breathing down your neck too. So the second game is the Swampies first, with only the one loss, as you know. Versus Omeo Benambra, the Rangers. And the last time you guys played, it was a 1-point ball game.
yes, there's been a lot of close ones this year, much to the coach Nathan's annoyance, I think. It's going to be another tough one, no two ways about it. I think it's the home game advantage, home ground advantage, I'm hoping gives us a bit better steed than going up there. We always struggled playing at Omeo. It's we've got to go up there someone's got to go up there for a grand final, and I think anyone from down this way tells you the trip up there and the altitude must do something. But hopefully the thick air down here will help us out a bit. But even, I think we played them at home last time, we only got home by a couple of points as well. So, they've got some good players that are hard to isolate. You've got Big Jai there, he's just a machine. He smashes it, and he's a true Haywood. He doesn't give up. He fights right to the bitter end. And, then you got guys like Snake who you think just should be retired, but they keep kicking goals, and they're so hard to pin down. They just sneak out, and he's accurate. If he's fit, he doesn't have to be fit actually. He's just bloody accurate. So yeah, they're a handful, no doubt about it. Yeah. But I think we'll get the win.
Yeah, no, good. Well, the home ground advantage will hopefully get you over the line. So and to round off, to finish off round 15, there's Buchan versus Swan Reach, the Cavemen versus the Swans, and the Swans got it done by 75 points last time they met. What do you know about these two teams, Dick?
Swanee have recruited really well. They've come from nowhere this year. They were in big trouble early in the season and picked up some good players, quite a few actually from South, because we were pretty busy. We had a huge squad, and a couple of the guys found room, or Swanee had room for them, so that's great. They won't have it all their way against Buchan. They're pretty handy. Again, the margins don't always reflect the quality of play. If they can convert, they can move the ball pretty quick from one end to the other, I can tell you. Having said that, I think Swanee will get the chockies. I think Brandon Scott's done a hammy, so that will slow them up a bit. He's a big target forward. He kicks 5 or 6 every game. So it will be an interesting one, but I think Swanee will take that one. So.
Yeah, good. So netball, Lana. The first game, well, as we just previewed there then, Swifts Creek versus Bruthen. Bruthen are in second spot, Swifts are in sixth.
Yep.
How do you see that one going?
Yeah, Creek have picked up a couple of girls and are tracking along okay. I know Chanel, sister girl, left us and went up to Creek she's up there with Kyla, so those two with their hands are incredibly freaky. Bruthen, they're bringing up some of the young girls, which is really nice, and they're tracking along really, really well. So, yeah, Bruthen should come away with the win.
And you guys sitting in first, playing Omeo Benambra in third, and I see last time you played, you got them by 45 points.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that game? You might run into them in the finals as well.
Yeah, maybe. We love playing against Omeo. It's a great game. The girls really enjoy it. We all, get along really well. It's clean, it's nice, and yeah, we just seem to enjoy it. Doesn't matter where we play, at home or up there. The struggle is real up there, but home court advantage this year, so we'll see if we can push it out.
Yeah, good. And the last round, the last game again to finish off the round is Buchan versus Swan Reach. Buchan sitting in fourth and fifth. I don't have the ladder in front of me, but I'm not sure if there's a challenge or a chance there for Swanee to sneak into the 4.
Yeah, and this one will be the match of the round. I'm super keen to see the results after this. Swanee have picked up a few of the Painesville girls, so Kimmy and Old Girl Ali have come across with a few others and helped out Swanee. They had their first win last week, so that was nice to see. And yeah, they'll give Buchan a run for their money. It'll be good to see how they go.
Awesome. And we are trying to get up there to see the Wilmers as well. We are trying to diversify into the Mount League with the netball, and we've got a bit of feedback from a couple of them that we need to get up there. So
we haven't, but having said that, this is our our pleasure to have hosted you guys as our special guests for the Omeo District Football Netball League and preview round 15, and we'll try and touch base with you again, either during the finals or, in grand final week possibly, which is, there's a few rumours floating around, a few contracts to be signed for pay-per-view deals and stuff like that. But listen, we'd just love to thank you, Lana, for joining us on the show, and you too, Dick. It's been a pleasure.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Now, in our efforts to maintain a variety of community sports, we've got a short video with one of our guest presenters, Craig Bushy Bush, with the lovely Nesta Owen. And this short video is a bit about footy and a lot about cricket, so I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, Craig Bush here.
Thank you.
It's my debut on A Kick in the Bush, and I understand that Sonia Buckley, bless her heart, named the program after me. Having found out it was named after me, I thought I should appear on it. So here I am. It's my debut for the show, and today we're talking to Nesta Owen. Nesta, a legend, as was her husband Charlie, in cricketing fields in East Gippsland, and today we're hearing Nesta's story. So good afternoon, Nesta, and welcome to A Kick in the Bush.
Thank you.
Let's start with your early memories. So you're an East Gippsland local?
Yes, yes.
And at Capes, I think, originally?
That's right, yes. Yeah.
So where were you born?
I was born at Lakes Entrance in Capes' Road in 1937. But Dad played. Dad, he played for Broome, and he was vice president of Broome Cricket Club in the 40s, just after the war. Yeah, so... and I just loved cricket. I used to play with the boys in the paddock. There wasn't many girls in our street, in Church Street in Bruthen, and anyway, they liked playing with dolls, and I was a bit of a tomboy, so I liked to play cricket and footy when it was footy season. Yeah,
So how did you get to cricket matches? What was your means of transfer?
Well, mainly the cricket that I went to when I was only little, I went with Dad on the push bike. He didn't me.
Okay.
But then as I got older, Charlie was playing. He was the main attraction. And I learned to score when I was 14-year-old. I learned to score, and man with one arm taught me how to score. I worked my first job was I worked at the Maytime Cafe for my uncle, Mick Wilson, who was my mother's brother. And then I worked at the Bruthen Inn when Billy Young's parents owned the Bruthen Inn. I worked up there for quite a few years. Then I worked at the Jack Nethercott's Milton Cows. And then I worked at Ron Fox Cafe in Bruthen.
Was that the Sherrington's? No,
I worked at Sherrington's store.
You tell us about the Sherrington store, because that's a fascinating story.
Yeah, well, it got burnt down in 1957, in March 1957. And it was a pretty sad story because it used to supply a lot of the groceries that went up country to the Benambra and Swifts Creek and NSA people up there. They used to send their yearly orders in.
Yearly orders?
Yearly orders. We used to do them up in wooden boxes, and their biscuits were done in Brockhoff biscuit tins or Swallow and Ariel biscuit tins.
So tell us the ranges of stuff, because that intrigued me, that the store held.
They used to sell everything from a drum, 44-gallon drum of petrol, a bag of chaff, a bag of spuds, or in the millinery parts they used to sell ladies' hats and men's hats, ladies' corsets, men's suits, reels of cotton, needles, knitting wool, yards, bulks of materials, ribbons, knitting needles, stockings, shoes, everything. They used to sell everything.
And even cross-cut saws.
Oh yeah, we used to sell the M-tooths, cross-cut saws and the wedges and the hammers and the hammers, and later on they sold powder guns when they came in to split the logs for for the sleeper cutters and the powder and the fuse and that. Yeah.
Your interest in cricket started out with having brothers who and a dad who was interested. So were you sort of following Charlie? Is that?
Oh well, it wasn't hard to do that.
Tell me more. How does
I
that
always considered myself very lucky that he chose me, because he was very, very quiet, reserved person, and like I've said many times, I was a bit of a tomboy. So I considered myself very lucky that he chose me to be his mate. Yeah, and I loved cricket anyway. It's always been my number one sport. Yeah, I like football, but it's not as good as what cricket is. I really enjoyed it because we made a lot of good friends through cricket. A lot.
Who have been the bats people that you have remembered?
Well, the memory that sticks in my mind the most is Bruce and Ian Fountain on the Bensdale Oval. We were playing at Bruthen and our game finished early, so Charlie said, let's go in and watch the Bensdale game. And Linda and I were playing Bensdale, and we got in there, and Bruce and Ian were both batting. And Bruce made over 200 and Ian made over 100.
And the memorable day, the day of your wedding, you need to tell that story. How did all that fit in with cricket? Because all that fit around cricket, didn't it?
We had to get married at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's St Matthew's Church in Brewton, which was only 2 doors from where I lived. And we had to be married at 10 o'clock so that...
So which year are we talking?
1957. We had the service at 10 o'clock, and then from there we went to what was then the CWA Hall. It's a private house now, and we had the wedding breakfast there, and then we went over to the Goonua, to the Brewton cricket ground, and we played Goonua. Yeah. Then we had country week all week. We came home Saturday and finished the other half of the Goonua game.
Right.
And then Sunday, Charlie was asked to play in an RSL versus game at Now Now. So we went to Now Now with his uncle Dick. Yeah, he took us to Now Now. And we played cricket again.
So was there ever a honeymoon?
We had to cricket. I scored 884 games and I umpired 93 games. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was up until 2001, because I've been still scoring. I'm still scoring. So.
Still scoring?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it.
So what's your total number?
Oh, it's well over 1,000.
Wow.
Well over 1,000.
Wow.
Well, I scored at Country Week for, I think, 15 years. Yeah, because Charlie was captain and vice-captain and played for that many years.
Yeah. Talking about things that are hard to watch, I'm guessing you've got an opinion on the sporting brats that are around at the moment. Do you have an opinion?
No. Toby Green plays for
Yeah.
Don't like him.
Right.
No, he doesn't play football in the way I like it played. I'm disappointed that he's allowed to get away with what he gets away with. Yeah. But anyway.
What about Kyrgios and people like that?
Oh, gosh, don't ask me about him. I think the devil's in him somewhere.
Thanks, Nesta, for telling us your story. It's fantastic that you've been able to stay as involved as you have for as long as you have. And I think your history, I think you have done a power of good for sport in the local area, and for that I thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
Nesta, what a darling.
Great. Not sure about Bush. I know you're a little bit upset with that. Bush has taken on part of the name, but we'll have to have a word to Jeff about that.
Have we copyrighted that, Jeff? We need to meet this Bushy. We've never even met him.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, well, we'll have to get him on the grand final show. No, thank you, Bushy. Great job, and thank you, Nesta. Would love to catch up with you maybe on the grand final show as well. Maybe part of the much rumoured player review. Who knows?
And the uncut version of that will be up soon, Jeff. I'm thinking the next
The
week
full
or so.
version. The full version, which is about a 40-minute interview. So
Bushy can
please.
talk, I think.
Now, our next two guests are regulars on the show, two-time regulars, and they're here to review the East Gippsland Football Netball League, the Gippy League, and we'll have a little chat about the Gippsland Power as well. Of course, the first one is a Swifts Creek boy who's the current director of coaching at the Bairnsdale Football Netball Club, and the other has played over 220 games of netball at Wyong and is the current A and B grade netball coach at Wyong. Please welcome Sean Moose Mooney and Caitlin Wheeler. How are you guys?
Going very well, thank you, Cookie.
Yeah, good to be back. Lucky us.
Good stuff. Well, you were that good the first time around. We had to get you back on,
No one else answered our calls. Yeah.
It's like the yin and the yang.
Exactly. No, it's great to have you guys here, and I must say that the professionalism has been quite astonishing. You, Caitlin, poking me during the week. What are we doing? What time do I need to be there? Nothing like Reece.
I'm very organised.
She's a gun.
Oh, absolutely.
She's all over it.
So we're going to start by previewing the round 16 of the East Gippsland Football Netball League. We'll talk about the footy first. Reece and Moose can wax lyrical about that, and maybe even you and I will chip in, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And then we'll move across to the netball. The first game of round 16, and haven't we got a special on later in the show for this game, the Battle of the Avon, Stratford 2nd versus Boysdale 7th. Swans go up against the Bombers, and the last time Stratty got them by 53 points.
Yeah, both the boys are here tonight, so I better keep it nice and cool, otherwise I might not get out of here.
Boys are already holding them apart back there.
But look, obviously those two clubs are great rivals. Both have had some success over recent years, and as you said earlier in the year, it was Stratford that got up, and at the moment they're sitting second on the ladder. Obviously pretty potent up forward with a couple of keys in Hawkins and Earthworth and O'Keefe as well. So I think they'll be pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, Battle of the Avon. I think Colossi will go pretty hard. Last time we seen him, he towed us up too. So 2002 Premiership reunion down there, Moose. So I think that might have been the RFL back then. Yeah.
Yep. So there's a few reasons for the Swan boys to be pumped up, but. Well, I don't want to spoiler alert, but we've got Benji here as well tonight, so they can have a chat about it later. The second game is Lakes versus Lindenau, and Lakes are currently 5th, Lindenau 4th. Last time they played each other, the Cats got up by 11 points.
Yeah, look, this is going to be a ripper. If you check the ladder out at the moment, Lindenau currently in 4th, Lakes in 5th, 6 points between them. So it's going to be huge, I think. Tommy Smith, 7 goals last week in some good form.
He kicked the bag.
So they'll be, he'll be hoping as coach to emulate that again this week, and good to see Lukey Dyer in the goals last week as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tough one for the Cats down at Lake, so all the best to them, blokes. I think Gibbs are going to make a return and get the crowd on the balcony going again.
I don't know what's happened to Gibbsy. Last time he was in here,
I
he's
know.
up and about.
He was up and about.
He's played the 6 games, and
I asked the Thirds boys last week just here, and they said if they beat Lucknow here, he was coming back. So I don't know whether there's any truth to that. Gibbsy, give us a message, mate, if you're watching and you can confirm or deny that.
Just get on the chat, Gibbsy. Don't stay anonymous, mate. So the third game is Painesville. The Gulls go up against Orbost. Painesville currently in 6th, Orbost in 8th, and the last time they played it was a 3-point ball game. The Gulls got up.
yeah, look, another great game. The Gulls have had a great year, and Ash has done a fantastic job. They've been really consistent throughout the year. Orbost at the moment sitting in last position, but their last month's been pretty good. Defeated Lindenau a couple of weeks ago, pushed Lucknow to 15 points last week. I think Hamish Nettleton's kicked 44 goals, so for a team that's sitting in 8th, for him to have done that's pretty special. So I think that's going to be a ripper as well.
Yeah, I think that'll be match of the round down there. Both in and at it sort of teams. Got to see All Boss firsthand after a good win after Lucknow, and they were impressive. They kept at it. Big Wezzy, the week before, it was a huge out for them. But yeah, I think if he comes back in, I think there's another bloke of Robbins as well that shouldn't pick sides, but they might be a chance to get Painesville down there if they keep at it.
And the last game to finish off the round is your mob, Reese, Lucknow versus Wyong, first on the ladder, and Lucknow third, going all right. Last time Tigers got you by 40 though.
Can you do it, Reese?
Yeah, look, I think we were probably lucky to get the 40 points last time because they put us to the sword early, but I think our running game is definitely improved and we've gone up another cog. So I think Moona and the boys will be looking to put a good show on, especially in front on home deck before the last 2 games. So.
And just the Tigers have lost the one game at Boysdale, smaller ground here on Saturday as well. Will obviously suit Lucknow, but the Tigers are averaging 100 points a game, so they're in some super form at the moment.
And you've been sitting there patiently, Caitlin. Yes. So in the A grade netball, there's the three games for the round. Stratty, who are sitting in 4th versus Boysdale. Bombers got up by 16 points last time they played.
Yeah.
What do you see happening there?
Yeah, so Boysdale's sitting in 2nd at the moment. They're playing some great netball. So they did get them by 16, and I think the previous time they played back in round 2, it was about the same sort of margin. And as you spoke about in the footy, they've got that bit of rivalry. We feel that in the netball too. I think it is there between those clubs, which is great. We love a rivalry. Very similar on court, those 2 clubs, physically very tough, and they play to that strength, so it should be a great match. I think Boysdale have got some real strength at the post in their shooter through Molly Hutz. She sits back at goal shooter, and for me, I don't think Stratford have the height to match her. She's really tall. And then same down the other end. I think Stratford probably do it in their attack line too. They've got Coco Henry, who's an ex-Gippsland League player. She's come over from Mafra this year, and she's leading the trade award at the moment. And she is a coach's headache. She's a playmaker. She's a fantastic shot, and she's playing some really good netball. So I think the Boysdale defence will struggle with her. So for me, this game comes down to the mid-court, and Boysdale do have a superior mid-court. There's a Lindley Bertuccini leading that, and I think that'll be enough to get the points for Boysdale that game.
That is very insightful.
That is an opposition.
It's like you've actually done your homework on this show.
I'm a coach.
So it's an opposition coach's headache.
Yes, opposition coach's headache. Absolutely. She's hard to stop, Coco Henry. I'll give her that. She's very hard to stop.
And her grandfather is Tiger McConnell, an old Mafra chairman of selectors, so I thought I should clarify that.
Yeah, there you
Was
go.
he in the chairman of selectors when you played down there, Cookie?
He might have been the mongrel, actually, yeah. So the second game, Lakes third, playing the Cats in 5th. I see Lakes got the Bickies by 10 points last time they played. So
Yeah.
good game.
Yeah, so Lakes have they're in 3rd now. They tussle with Boysdale for that 2nd and 3rd spot. They have done for this last half of the season, and they've actually had a few losses in the last couple of weeks, Lakes. So they are the stronger side in my opinion, but Lindenau do sit outside the 4, and I would expect that they will cause an upset the last few rounds. So maybe it is this weekend. Lakes play a really unconventional combination in their goal circle of 2 talls. These 2 ladies, Mika Pitt and Abby Yates, they stand about 6 foot tall, and not many clubs have the height to counter that. But Lindenau do. They sit Renee Barry back at keeper and Bree Coles at goal defence. So that's interesting. That's Lakes' force, and I think the scoreline was about 33-20, and that's the lowest scoreline we've seen throughout an A-grade game this whole season, and I think it's because they do stop Lakes' scoring power, and vice versa. I think Lakes' defence is really strong, and they'll be better than Lindenau this weekend. So I think Lakes will have enough fire in the belly though. They have had those few losses over the last few rounds, and I think they'll be strong enough this weekend to get that done.
Awesome.
And to round off, or to finish off the round, Lucknow come up against your girls, and you got them by 22 last time.
Yes, so yeah, we're still on top of the ladder, and we are undefeated, which makes me really nervous as a coach because it's these games that are kind of the danger game for me. Yeah, look, we should win it, but who knows? You know, our focus has shifted to finals. That's what we do.
Rest a couple.
Well, actually, funny you should say that. But we do have a few injuries, and our focus has shifted to finals. And I think Lucknow's focus will be on finishing the season as strong as they can, and kind of ticking the boxes internally to see, you know, what they can build on for next year. So it's a funny game, those last few games, with an undefeated side on top heading into finals, and I suppose anyone can knock them off. So I'll tip us, I've got to. The girls are watching, so I think we will be too strong.
Just give a couple of the veterans a rest, Erica.
Well, I do. Look, we do have a few injuries, so I will say that. There are a few sitting out this weekend. So,
there you go, girls.
So we'll jump across to the Gippy League. Moose Bairnsdale have got the Traralgon Maroons this weekend down in Traralgon.
Yes.
And they're in fourth at the moment and won by 71 points last time at Bairnsdale.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for us. Traralgon currently in fourth, but there's not much difference between the top four sides. So they're really, at the moment, challenging for a top three finish. They had a draw last week against Wonthaggi. Never easy playing Traralgon anywhere, let alone playing them on their home deck. So for us, we've just got to focus on getting off to a good start, which we haven't been too bad at. I guess our issue of late's been that consistency over 4 quarters. So, you know, we're just enjoying being able to play footy. It's been a rough couple of years for everyone. So for us to get out there again on Saturday and play against a good team in a good competition is what it's all about.
Now, are you playing?
Yeah, mate, at this stage, unless something happens to training tomorrow night. I'll continue on and, really enjoying it, to be honest.
Where are you playing? Wing,
bench. I haven't spent any time down forward. It's all been, spent a lot of time on the wing, actually, and a little bit down back. So, really enjoying being out there with our young group, and they're a great bunch, and Logan's doing a fantastic job. It's been difficult, but he's playing some really good footy. He's getting to know the group really well, and I'm sure that'll hold us in good stead as we push forward in the next 12 months.
He is pretty handy, isn't he?
He goes well, mate. In the last 2 weeks, he's kicked 10 goals. So for us, he's fantastic.
Don't give Traralgon too much, mate. They'll be zoning up, and
they'll be watching.
He's going really well.
Yeah,
he's doing a great job.
And in the netball, Caitlin, Bairnsdale in 10th. I don't think they haven't had a win yet.
No.
Versus Traralgon in 4th.
Yes, yeah. So Traralgon they are a really top side in the netball. They have been for many years. Obviously, coaching there recently, they're always really tough, and they're tougher at home. Bairnsdale, sitting in 10th, and they haven't had a win yet, and they do have a bit of a tough run home. But, they did only lose to Sale a couple of weeks ago, by 2 goals, sorry. So that was really positive for them. They put on a really good score last week against Druin. This weekend will be out of reach for them, I would think. But similar to what I just spoke about Lucknow, being winless this season, I'm sure they're internally just setting some goals for themselves, and I think they'll just be wanting to tick some boxes for them as a group, and I hope they do so they can build next year. But probably out of reach this weekend for the girls.
And just to round off, Gippy Power, Moose, they had their first loss last week down in Tassie.
Yes, I had a big weekend for the boys. They headed to Melbourne Saturday afternoon and then flew over to Hobart Sunday, played against Tassie, had their first loss and then had to fly back Sunday night. But very proud of the Bairnsdale boys. So Cooper Vickery's playing extremely well. He's obviously been representing Vic Country as well. Was named in the best players on the weekend for Power, and it's great to see Randall Stewart, who's also played some good senior footy this year. He's played the last 3 games at Gippsland Power, which is fantastic.
Nice work. In Coops, he ended up with 19, 6 tackles, and an interesting one, 8 rebounds. against the Tassie Devils down there. And boys, it doesn't matter down at Tassie, it's Tassie. You're not going to be playing down there, so don't worry about it, all right? It was a gimme game anyway. So 1 goal, and he got 6 tackles. Did I mention that? So I thought we were telling him not to do the pressure acts after last time. But great to see Randall in there in the last 3 games too. I know, Rhett was a massive fan of him as well. And a little whisper is, Rhett's he might be in the job to get an AFL call up the way he's going. They're sitting top of the table. Yeah. I think they're game clear. He told me not to tell anyone, but
I'm sure he's watching.
Rhett, if you're watching, mate, Cookie made me say it. So.
Oh, listen, thanks heaps, Caitlin and Moose, for coming in again. We'll extend your contract for the rest of the year, I reckon. You've done a fantastic job, far above what we do. The professionalism is awesome. Listen, we've got more guests in just a minute. Before that, though, we've got another short pre-recorded video. Reese and I headed down to the Term to do a bit of street talk. All right, what are we doing, Reese? We're going to have a beer, you reckon?
Mate, we'll get in there, have a beer with the punters. Going to catch out any players that are having a beer before the game on a Saturday. Never done it, so let's go find them out.
The Term. Let's go.
Let's go.
Cole's waiting for us. Cole, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Thank you, lads. Come on in.
Hey, Bushes, we're over here. Come over here, Reese. We've got Big Cole here. How are you, Cole?
Cole.
You good, mate?
Good. Yeah, good, mate. Good. How are you guys going today? Good?
Good.
Yeah, good. Coming for a nice bevy on a Friday night?
Indeed, we have. You got a few in today?
Yeah, a few boys putting in their footy tips and things like that all ready for the weekend. So it's all, mine hasn't been going that good. I've been to have to pay a few extra beers because my tipping hasn't been that good lately. So, yeah, but they do pop their tips in here on a Friday. We've got a bit of a 70 or 80 guys here putting their tips in, and I'm not going that. The barman's not going too well this year, so he's giving away a few free pots.
Any raffles on tonight?
Yeah, I've got the Netty girls coming in from Wyong tonight, so that'll be good. So they're a good score. There's not many of them here yet, but they'll be floating around very soon.
So we're not live, but most Fridays there's a footy netball club raffle here.
Yeah, we've got a couple. Well, we've got a couple of clubs involved. Obviously, the local Wyong club. They've got the boys and the girls that come out here, the footballers and the netballs, and also I've got the Painesville Football Club, which is obviously being around the corner where we're closest to. So they come in here once every 3 weeks. So you'll find one of them here anyway. So, and they try and jag some money in the Jag the Joker as well. So
nice stuff.
Well, thanks, Cole. Thanks, mate. We might have a sneak around and see if we can catch some footballers out drinking on a Friday night.
Have you quenched it yet?
We will very shortly. We'll see if we can catch a few out. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Righto, Bushes, we're here catching up with Billy and a few of the punters down at the Term. Badger's just coming back from a couple of weeks on the sidelines, mate. How's it all going?
Yeah, no, going not too bad now. The back was a little bit on the sore side of life, but going well now, and yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
Nice work, mate. Now you might get a game in. We've just got to see how the Painesville 2s come up.
Pretty well, yep, that's it. Hopefully they strike a side and away we go from there.
Nice work. Now you've made the trip over to Wyong this, our arch enemies. How's it all going over there with Dougie, Betsy and the boys?
Yeah, no, going really well. Both the seniors and the 2s are travelling in good spots there. Top of the ladder in both sides. So yeah, no, good place to be around.
Yeah, no, Wyong going really well. I think they're on top in everything except for the under 15s, and I think they're pretty close to that as well. So
yeah, not too far off there. So yeah, going well.
Nice work, mate. Saddled up here, getting ready to watch the footy with Obsy. Now, mate, is it true you made a name for yourself in the Lucknow Thirds?
In the Lucknow Thirds, coached by Darryl Wren.
Nice work. It would have been tough old days back then, wouldn't it?
Yes, it was, but the best got through.
Much tougher than these days?
Yeah, they seem a little bit work these days, those young fellas.
And, in and under centre player for West Bensdale. How was that?
That was good. Coached by Peter White. Yeah, that was good. Trevor White. Yeah, that was good.
How many games do you reckon you notched up over there?
Oh, I don't really. I just went out and done my best. That's all. I didn't count them.
Yeah. Any premierships?
I didn't count the kicks. I got sick of counting them.
Thanks for the chat, Pete.
No worries. Anytime. I won't charge you this time.
Nice work, mate. Now we'll shuffle over here. Oh, we've got Shannon from the Lucknow South women's team. So, I think every time she's been on tape tonight, she's had a beer. So,
yeah.
How are they tasting?
They're good tonight. It's Friday. They're always good.
Now, when's the next game?
Sunday. Foster. Ian Foster.
Oh, nice. What does the weather look like?
I don't want to look at it.
Okay, so the girls were having a few beers tonight.
Yeah.
Saving ourselves on Saturday night for the big game Sunday?
Definitely not.
So you're going on a 2-night bender?
Yeah, of course. That's it's the only way to play.
Now, how are we looking? We got plenty of the girls in. Have we got any injuries?
No, we have some good ins this week. We've got a few ring-ins that we've a few girls that have played a few seasons ago that have moved down to Queensland. She's back, our Josie. So we've got the 3 sisters, the 3 Elliots playing. So that'll be a good mix-up. They're all going to go in the middle and shake Foster up a little bit. So it'll be good.
Nice work. There you have it. We've got the scoop for the Sunday night game.
G'day guys, Cookie from A Kick in the Bush. How are you girls?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. What's your name?
Dakota.
And
Chloe.
have you girls ever heard of A Kick in the Bush?
Never. No.
Damn. Who do you follow local footy?
Linda, no.
Oh, that you've answered my next question.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And Linda know as well?
No, Ben. Well, Ben's not.
Bandstyle, excellent. Do you girls play football or netball?
I'm registered to play at Lucknow South, but I just haven't managed to get to a game.
We've actually done a fair bit of filming at Lucknow South with the girls' footy, so excellent. And yourself, do you play football or netball?
I'm just a fan.
Just a fan, that's good. And what are you up to tonight?
Just a couple of quiet drinks. Girls catch up.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you. You've been on A Kick in the Bush street talk. Look up A Kick in the Bush on Facebook. You'll be famous. Thanks, girls. Cheers. Cheers.
Cookie. Bit of an electric feeling in the terminal, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's getting, but there's a bit of a buzz. People are waiting for the Joker poker, and we're just having a beer. Your hair's looking good.
Thanks, mate. Now we have found a couple of players to our left over here. Young Liam Rooney and Byron Vickery both got big games tomorrow. Just quenching their thirst. How you going, boys?
Yeah, good mate. How you going?
Yeah, nice. How you got tomorrow?
I got Painesville boys. So
at home?
Yeah, down Tigerland.
Playing?
Yeah, I'll be in there, mate.
How you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Fit?
Can't wait.
Nice work. Been playing well too this year too, mate. Byron, how you tracking?
Yeah, not too bad. Got Drew on.
Hang on. Come over, mate. Yeah, you're in awesome form this year. Who's got tomorrow?
I've got Drew on at home.
Drew?
Yeah.
How's the team shaping up?
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice work. Any ins and outs we need to know about over at Redlegs at the moment?
Oh, not really, no.
Well, it's been riveting interview with Byron anyway, so well, let's move on.
G'day guys, it's funny who you see down here, a bit of royalty at the term. We've got Chris Martin. Martin, how are you, mate?
Yeah, fine, Cookie, how are you, mate?
Good. And Taz Breaky, how are you, Taz?
Good, Cookie, how are you?
Good, mate. How's news agency going? Good?
Apparently got no playboys.
I did hear that.
Cookie, a frequent.
And Marto, the real estate game, how's that? Hot?
Yeah, no, it's going okay. It's certainly quietened off a fair bit to what it was. But I think once things plateau out, things will be good. Yeah, be back to where we were. Be good. The area's going really well. It's great.
I'm not sure which love to ask you about first, the Hawks or the punt. How the Hawks going?
I reckon we will potentially be the unluckiest team not to make the 4, not the 8, the 4. And next year, well, you know, I think we all need to take the last weekend in September off as a future holiday because we know where we're going to be.
Book accommodation now.
Absolutely, Cookie.
And Taz, had a great time with you at the boxing on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I've got one question for you.
Yep.
Did Kelly ever get found?
Yeah, about 2 o'clock on the Sunday.
Well, listen, thanks, guys. We don't want to take up too much of your time. I can see you've got one eye on the screen, and you've got to be up at 3 a.m. or something to start just rolling papers. Not Durry papers, but yeah, the other papers. So thanks, guys. We'll see you later, Bushes.
See you, guys.
Well, Reece, you'd think they would have shouted us a beer at the turn, but they didn't, did they?
They did not at all. And Byron was just a hoot, wasn't he?
Couldn't shut him up.
Man of many words. How'd he go on Saturday anyway down there?
He always goes okay. He's a very good footballer.
They didn't keep on keeping on though, did they?
Oh, no. He was fit as a fiddle on the Saturday morning. I'd say that was his only one. I think that was a prop, wasn't it?
Lucky misses, Paul.
Was the second one a prop?
Yeah. So, listen, that's a good segue. Our next two guests are from the Painesville and the Lucknow Football Netball Clubs, respectively. One is the current senior coach at the Painesville Football Netball Club. He played his first ever game with Omeo, which is where his great-grandfather played. He's been involved in senior footy for 21 years. Get this list, Reece. Sale, Wyong, Lindenau, Boisdale Bryag, Coomera Magpies in the QLD, Omeo and now Painesville. He's also been a coach across those 9 years. Please give Ash Watt a warm welcome. The second guest, or our second guest, played all of his junior footy at West Bairnsdale. He then headed off to Scotch College. He's played in 2 senior grand finals, one where he was best on ground in 2019 playing for Lindenau. You may remember him from the reality TV show The Recruit in 2016. He's now a senior player and in the leadership group at the Lucknow Football Club. Please welcome Darren Allen.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Jim, just a quick one on that. If you may remember him from tearing up your team if you've ever played against him in the East Gippsland Football League.
There's that as well.
Yeah. Anyway, Ash, how's Painesville girls? How's it going, mate, this year? First year at it, got the club up and going, mate. It's good to see.
No, mate. Well, I think the club was always up and going. We just needed to add a few extra things to it to move it along a little faster, I suppose. And players will do that. Netball club's coming along quite well. We'd really like to see a few more girls pop up and come down, and we need a little bit more depth at the club, and these are really good things for the club to look forward to in the next few years. It's great.
This was your first year at the club. What type of improvements are you trying to work on? Obviously, moving forward as well. We're coming to the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to start off with was to build our list and get our ex-players back to the club that were obviously either at other clubs, either whether it was Bairnsdale or clubs around the East Gippsland Football League, or guys that after COVID hadn't actually been playing at all and decided to take those few years off. So that was our target points.
Awesome. Now there's a couple of polarising characters down at Painesville. What's mostly surprised you?
Mate, I don't think we can really talk about some of the surprises really, but there's a couple. Mitchie Wilmot and Nick Pincock. They always come up with something decent to talk about on a Monday.
So
we'll leave that there, boys. Right.
On a Monday training. So Ash, as you said, first good year. What have you got in store for next year? 3, 5. What do you see for Painesville in the future?
Yeah, well, obviously with a couple of results that didn't quite go our way throughout the year, and a couple of games that we probably should have been in for longer. The same as everyone else. A couple of COVIDs or a couple of injuries at really critical times. Really, it sort of took the wind out of our sails throughout the season. So I think that we've got an extremely good list. If we can, a few knee recos that guys are going through at the minute and shoulders and stuff like that, those 5 or 6 players back into any side, really that lifts you, really lifts your game up across the field and pushes a few sideways and back into the reserves as well. So going forward into next year is obviously to consolidate our list this year. Obviously then recruit an extra couple of senior players and recruit for our reserves. So that we've got depth, and then create a platform for our thirds kids to start developing. Hopefully we look like that we'll have a thirds up next year at the minute, so that's a big target for the club as far as the football side of it goes anyway. So it'd be good to get 3 sides on the ground all year and play every game. That'd be our goal for sure.
Yeah. you know, you've been around footy a long time now. Who do you reckon in the local comp is the team to beat in September? Obviously seen everyone first hand now. But had some good outings against a couple of the top sides. So
yeah, a couple of top sides. We had, you know, that same thing. You've got that little bit of depth in your side that you know, you're fielding 16, 18 on the ground that are really good footballers, and then others that come on that play their holding role that they don't get beaten. So off that, obviously Wyong we had a pretty good crack at on the weekend for sort of a good nearly 2.5, 3 quarters, and they rolled us late with a different style of footy we played against them. They're outside runners. I think that a lot of clubs going to be challenged to hold, but I think actually think Lucknow, if they can get their full list together, they'll really give them a good push.
Now, just before you start, Cookie, who is the best? You mentioned a couple of names of the Painesville boys. Who's the best off-field performer? Because that's what all the viewers want to know. And there's a few out there. There's a couple more. That we got 65. I think we could probably build that up a little bit at the moment. Yeah. So if you're watching this, share it around, get the viewers up, all right, and let the punters know who's the best off-field performer at Painesville.
Off-field in what way, mate? Like
Let's
really good around the club that they
that is not what we're
bins and stuff.
That is not what we're talking about. We're looking for the best bloke at the pub.
Oh, the best bloke.
The last bloke to leave.
Oh, the last bloke.
Got to play footy. Can't be one of them.
Lockie O'Connor would have to be quite up there. He doesn't mind hanging in for a good session. He's had a couple of big ones and a couple of spews in a couple of pretty important places in people's bathrooms and stuff like that. So, but there's always a few good performers down there. Alex McLaren, he's had a couple of crackers. Who else is in there? Oh, Nick Pincott, he's always good for one or two. Mitchie Wilmot, he's the
most consistent.
The list goes on. Like he had a great night at the Sheds there and found himself a little broom to dance with and took his clothes off for the broom. It was, it's great from absolutely. It's great from one of the young boys, 21-year-old, in and amongst it.
So Daz has been sitting over here patiently, probably thinking, if they don't notice, I might just duck away.
No, that's all right.
Thanks for coming in, mate. So Lucknow, how's Lucknow travelling this year, both the seniors and at the club?
Yeah, look, we're tracking really well. Lucknow have had a lot of changes over this year and over COVID, being a lot of people having time off. But we've got a new coach, we've got a lot of new faces, so I feel like we've got a good foundation to build towards something which obviously which shows we're sitting third. But look, we're tracking really well. Still learning as we go along and trying to gel as a group. But with Moona at the helm, I think we're in good stead.
And the netball, the juniors, have you kept much of an eye on those?
Yeah, look, the young fellas, they get around the club and it's good to see them come and be a part of sports. Again, I refer to just the COVID lockdown. But then also we struggle, in some senses with our 2s and sometimes our 17s and just getting people here and getting interested in footy. And as I spoke to you before, it's great to have something like this here to get people interested into footy and what's going on locally.
So it's your first year at the club.
Yes.
How have you found that? And most importantly, what sort of a presence does Reece have around the club?
Oh, Reece. Yeah, look, first year at the club, my old man played here, which was a big pull for myself to come here. Yeah, look, I love it. I spent a lot of time at Lindenow. Played most of my footy career there. And I have a lot of great memories, and Lindenow's always going to be my home club. But I feel like this here, coming to Lucknow, is just like a new chapter for me. And yeah, look, I'm really enjoying it and hoping to bring something to Lucknow.
Nice. Daz, we've had a couple ups and downs this year, but through the senior ranks we're going pretty well.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon's probably the team to beat, or that could mix it up?
Yeah, look, obviously you've got Wyong sitting on top of the ladder, and unfortunately both games we've played against Lucknow have been injured, so yeah, but they're obviously the team to beat. But then you've got a side like in Stratford that have, they're always a good side, and they've been able to, I guess through injuries, it's sort of worked in their favour and hasn't. But they've they've managed to pull a few games together, and I really feel like they've been around finals and at the top of the ladder for the last couple of years, so they're always a chance to make an upset come finals time. And then you've got, who is it, Lindenau. Yeah, look, they're not going too great, and again, that's hard for myself to see my old club struggling like that, but you know what, I believe that over the next coming weeks, and if they can stick around and stay in the top 4, they'll be a threat as well. They've got experience and they've been there before, so it's a tough question. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I love that this year's a very even competition. It's something I haven't seen in a while. So look, I'm just excited to see how it all plays out. I mean, it's anyone's game. Whoever can get it right come finals time.
That's it. Now, personally, talk to us through your experiences on the recruit.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us around here seeing your dominance firsthand. You know, you had your chance on the recruit. It was good experience.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through that?
Yeah. Look, it was a really good experience for myself. I get this question a lot. Why did I leave at the time? Because I chose to leave the show. I wasn't, I guess, voted out, and you know, there's a lot of factors that come into it, and one of them was obviously at the time I had my first son, Darren III. So the first time dad, and then going away, I think my son was only 2 to 3 months old. So, you know, a lot of people say to me they're not going to remember it, and he's only a kid, and it's not that important. But to me, it was very important, and yeah. So I had that, and my father died. I passed away a year before I had my son. So there was a whole lot of factors going on, and at the time I just felt like, for me personally, I just needed to get home, spend some time with the family. But I absolutely loved it. It gave me, it was a real eye-opener to what it takes to become an AFL player. And although it was only part of a TV show, I mean, I loved every minute. I've made some great friends, and yeah, no, it was a really good experience.
Yeah, awesome. Now, I think if anyone sort of said that you shouldn't have given away that, you know, to be with your son, mate, they're a grub. So you've said that to Darryl, you're a grub too.
No.
But obviously, you know, you've seen a few of the boys now. Who's the best off-field performer for the Lucky, in the Lucky boys?
Ooh. Yeah, yeah, right. Look, I've been to maybe a couple since I've been here, but Roy, even though I don't think he plays, sorry to chuck you under the bus like this, Roy, but
he's a grub
yeah,
too,
Roy would be up there, and then young Joshy Carroll, he likes to have a crack as well.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking chap, and I say this a lot to the boys. I wouldn't tell Josh, but obviously I'm saying it now, Josh. So yeah, he likes to go out and have a good time as well.
Don't worry, he knows he's good looking.
I know he does.
Oh, listen, thanks heaps, Daz. It's been great to have you. Thanks, Ash. Awesome to have you guys here and to have your support. There was never a drama in the world with you know, you guys picking up the phone and saying we'll be there to support and help local country footy. So thank you very much for that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So Pillow Talk was so much fun the first time. We thought we might do it again. So Luke Belfridge and Tamara Gordon from this very Lucknow football netball club were the couple that joined us this time. Ta-da! Who are you?
I'm Gordo.
Well, who are you? I'm Batman. What day is it?
Wednesday?
Are you Gordo and Belf from the Lucknow Footy Netball Club?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, uh-oh, my bad. Hey guys, I'm Cookie from A Kick in the Bush. You're our second ever guest on Pillow Talk. Hey, Kick in the Bushes, you know the drill. In our endeavours to see what really makes footy netball tick in East Gippsland, every episode we're doing an interview with a football and netballer couple. Our couple this episode is Belf and Gordo from the Lucknow Football Netball Club. Hi Belf.
How you going, mate?
Good. Hi, Gordo.
Hi, Cookie.
You ready to go, guys? You ready to be on Pillow Talk?
Let's do it.
Think so.
So, we'll start with you, Gordo. How did you and Balf meet?
I worked at Video Easy for a long time, and Balf was a regular there. He either liked watching a lot of movies or he liked coming in to see me. I don't really know.
Just love watching and stack the shelves.
Well, that's a good segue. Who made the first move, Balf?
I don't know, it's a two-way street, I think. You know?
Balf, definitely Balf.
Maybe. I made my visits more frequent, I suppose.
You had a life membership. So, how did Balf propose?
We were having a weekend in Lakes for my birthday. We were staying at the Bellevue, and I had come out of the shower and he was sitting nervously on the couch, and I went, what's going on? And he was sort of looking at the bed, and he made a love heart out of my favourite chocolates with a ring sitting in the middle. So he was sweetheart. He was sweating and very nervous though.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now let's get into a little bit of the, the more nitty gritty. Balf, what's Gordo's worst habit?
The worst habit? Probably pulling me up. No, she's a little bit OCD. She battles to go to bed with a dirty dish on the sink. I know that much, but she's pretty good at other than that, I reckon.
So speaking of dirty dishes, does Balf cook? And if so, what's his dish? What's his go-to?
He's kind of too busy with work to cook much lately, but his signature dish probably would be homemade chicken parmas. But he's good at doing the dishes when I cook. So when I cook, he'll clean.
Oh, good, a good new age relationship. So this might get a little bit ugly here. Who wears the pants, mate?
Of course I do. It's a team effort, but she definitely does.
So a little bit about footy netball, Gordo. What's Balf like before a game of footy? Is he nervous? Is he grumpy?
He's not really nervous anymore. He probably was when he was younger, but I think you get to that point where you're like, oh, okay, it's just another day, another game. I know he's always last to run out on the footy field, so I don't know whether he likes to take his time to get dressed or get extra long rub down or something like that. I don't know.
Superstitious thing, or?
I think I've just done it from day dot when I first started playing seniors at one.
And you have your big cook up in the morning, bacon eggs. Cook up in the morning before you play.
For all those junior footballers listening, don't do that. And what about Gordo? With her netball, is she nervous? Does she have to listen to AC/DC on the way? Is there something she does?
She's played enough netball now to sort of feel the way through the day. She does go through her opponents in her head, I think. She talks to me, I'm going to be playing on this girl, that girl, blah, blah, blah. She's a very organised sort of person, so before we leave, even before we go to bed Friday night, the netball pad's got to be organised, and all the kids have to be down to a T. They've got their drink bottles, they've got their spare clothes. She has to be organised, I'll say that much. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
That's excellent. Gordo, who's the best looking bloke at the Lucknow Footy Netball Club?
I have to say Balf, don't I? That big handsome
What if I'm not here?
Definitely Balf.
Yeah, Balf. Excellent. Good choice. Balf, who do you reckon the best looking bloke is at the Lucknow Football Netball Club?
Can we go past our old mate Big Cat?
The Big Cat? Oh, he's a fine looking bloke, isn't he? Yeah.
A lot of the women over at the footy netball club rave on about Joshy Carroll. He's a good looking young rooster. But I don't know, I don't really look at the boys like that, I suppose. I'll leave that up to Gordo.
Good. No, excellent answers. So guys, just to finish up, and of course, what we are all about, as I said at the start, is footy netball, and why do we love it? What do you love about the Lucknow Football Netball Club and about playing netball?
Well, it's been my second home for a lot of years. 20 plus years I've been there, and I've met some amazing friends, lifelong friends that I wouldn't have met otherwise if I wasn't playing netball at Lucknow. And now that I've got the kids, they're over there doing net set go, and they love hanging out there, and just a good place to be.
And Balf, what about you? What do you love about the club?
I suppose being sort of relatively new to the club, I played a lot of footy at Lyme. When I moved across, they welcomed me with open arms, and like what I said, with the kids and that now, it's like a creche at Lucknow, so free babysitting, it's great.
Happy days.
That's it.
Listen, thank you so much, Gordo. Thank you so much, Balf. Bushes, kicking the bushes. I hope you really enjoyed our second ever episode of Pillow Talk. It's been fun. We'll catch you on episode 3. Well, thanks, Belf and Gordo. They were good fun, mate. I'll tell you what, they're good, great Lucknow people, and they were very, very easy to deal with, as weird as that sounds.
Well, I think a bloke wearing a Batman suit in their bedroom, what else can, I think they just had to take it on.
Well, they didn't have much choice. No, they were great sports, and Jeff did a fantastic job with the filming too.
Good on, Jeff.
Our final two guests are from the western end of the league, and it's actually perfect timing because we've got the Battle of the Avon this weekend. One of our guests played all of his juniors at Stratty. He captained their thirds premiership in 2008 and was captain in their premiership year of 2014. He went to Mafra in 2016 and proceeded to play in 4 senior grand finals, all against Leongatha. Can you believe that? Winning one in 2016 and one in 2019. He returned to Stratty as assistant coach last year in 2022 and is now the playing senior coach in 2022, I should say. Let's welcome Jared Clossy from the Stratford Footy Club.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. And the second is also a Mafra boy, or is a Mafra boy, who has played premierships in the under-16s, 18s and reserves level. He's played over 60 senior games at Mafra. He coached Mafra under-18s in 2018 and 19 and then headed off to Boysdale Bryag in 2021 to get some senior coaching experience, where he was an assistant coach in 2021 and this year he's the senior playing coach. He actually cites Wayne Butcher as one of his greatest inspirations, which I'm a little bit concerned about. But listen, let's welcome Sam Bedgie Bedgegood from Boysdale Bryag.
Yeah, quick one, Bedgie. How's the Bombers travelling? Through the whole club, not just the seniors. Obviously, we know how the seniors are tracking at the moment, but as a club?
Yeah, look, overall, it's been really good. I think the netball side of things probably haven't been the most successful club on the court, but this year I think they've got every side in the 4, and all bar 2 have cemented that spot in the 4. So they're going really well, and with the under 17 and a halves, it's actually their first side in 5 years, I think. So. Yeah. In terms of the whole club, it's going really well because I think to have a successful club, you've got to have those juniors coming through. And obviously the 2s have been good for a number of years now. So in terms of the whole club, yeah, things are going well. As you touched on, the seniors probably haven't been as successful yet. There's a lot of change from last year. There might have been 10 or so changes from last year's side. And then, yeah, as speaking of Clossy before, clubs have got a lot of injuries at the moment, and unfortunately we've been hit pretty hard with that. But that's footy, and I think the next few rounds now are just about learning and taking that into next year. So,
yeah, I reckon Wilco's done a good job in the 17s as well. It's nice to go down there and you've got the 3 grades of football on the day down there. So it's credit to him and the club for getting those boys up and going too.
Yeah, no, he's doing a great job, and it's been tough. Obviously, the results has been some really tough there, but I think at the start of the year he might have had 10 blokes on board. And then as the sort of years gone on, we've managed to get a few other guys, and a few have come across from Mafra, which has been good. And then obviously with our injuries, we've actually had a few thirds play seniors, so they're better players have either missed out in the thirds or Wilco's put them in the forward line just to look after them a bit. So it has been tough, but he's done a great job. And I think the best thing for the big fella is he's actually got keen with footy because he's done a pre-season himself and helped us boys. Yeah, he's had a really good year himself. So I think even doing the coaching is really good for him, but also the club as well. So he's doing a great job.
Nice. Now, who's impressed in the senior group? And what kind of things what should we expect in the next couple of weeks to, what you'd be starting to work on to push in to improve your ladder position in 2023?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just the little wins now. It's obviously, we can't make finals. For obvious things have gone against us, but in saying that too, we probably haven't played the footy we wanted to. But it's all about those little things now. We've got a number of guys, as I said before, a few thirds guys are playing up. They're getting a bit of experience in the seniors now, and hopefully they can learn a few things, and then come next year, they've had those handful of senior games now, and then they take that into next year, and they can build on that. And there's a lot of 2s guys as well that have probably played senior footy that might not have if we had kept our list together. But going forward, I think that's something to really work on for next year and take that confidence into it.
Now, Sam, in 1982, hell froze over, and the Boysdale Football Club joined with the Bryagalong Football Club and merged to make the Boysdale Bryagalong Football Club 40 years ago. Do people still talk about that? Is there a divide? How does that all work?
Look, to be honest, I haven't had too much. Obviously, this is my second year there now, but last year with COVID, probably didn't get around the club that much. Obviously, we weren't allowed to, so haven't heard too much in terms of that side of things, but obviously you hear bits and pieces about the history and the coach. Obviously, Wayne Butcher's one I mentioned before. His coach there, and obviously going from the Riviera League to the North Gippy to the East Gippy. So you hear bits and pieces about the history like that, but yeah, in terms of probably that far back from it, yeah, haven't heard a hell of a lot.
You wouldn't have been bald. Who's going to make up the top four? And you've seen everyone. You're out. You know you can't really be biased. Who do you reckon is going to make up the top four? And who can push deep into that grand final?
It'll be interesting. I think Linden have probably they've got a few injuries as well, and they're probably the team out of that that might be vulnerable to drop out. I think Lakes is on the cusp of being able to make finals, so it'll be interesting out of those two which one takes that fourth spot. The top three is pretty much set, I think, and it just might be the order maybe, but I think that all three sides are really good, and every time we've played them, they've showed us the sort of footy that it takes to be a successful club. And it's Wyong's probably got the young blokes who've got the skill and pace, especially when you get onto that Bensdale ground come finals. I think going to be really hard to beat, but obviously with Jared sitting next to me, I'll give him a little pop up as well. They've just started to get a few guys back from the halfway point. I think they had a few injuries on the weekend, but if they get everyone together, I think they're going to be pretty tough to beat as well. So it'll be interesting, how it pans out in the end.
No, that's a good insight. Now, obviously, you would have heard from the last couple of blokes. We don't get to see too much of the Boysdale and Stratty boys down this end of town, so we want to pry into who's the best off-field performer down there. Where are they going? The Boysdale Brogue after a footy function. They go in the pub, they hit Mafra up. What's the go-to?
It's probably
and who is it?
It's probably a good thing they don't come down this way because it caused me a ruckus, I think. But,
do they?
But there's a couple down there that don't mind a beer and a bit of a good time. But
give us a couple names.
There's two Johnson boys that don't mind a bit of a beer and
a biff on a Saturday
too. A bit of a biff at a pub on a Saturday night. So it's probably good that they're staying down at the Newry or the Brogue pub down there. So.
Couple big pubs amongst them too, isn't there?
The Brogue pub goes off. Every week, most away games, we go back to the Brogue pub there and have a few there, or a few boys going to Mafra or things like that. But it's sort of a bit hard now. There's not too much down our way. There's no nightclubs. There's no nothing. There's Jack Ryan's in Sale, so the party's out at Brogue normally. So, but yeah, in terms of who's the one, there's. The captain, Sean Bates, doesn't mind a bit of funny. We had a.
I thought he was a bit of a straight A. He's sort of a character.
We had a bit of Mr. Boysdale probably a month or so ago, and he put on a fair show that night. So he was pretty good for the crowd. So he's
Mr. Boysdale.
Yeah, Mr. Boysdale. I'll give him a shout out. Brendan Remington won that one, but I think his missus might have put a bit extra money in the kitty at the end there to top him up. I think. But it was a good night. But there's definitely a few boys that like to have a beer and a bit of a good time. Wilco's he's a man. He's a big boy. He likes a beer.
He would smash a couple of brews down, wouldn't he? Do all right over the bar.
Jared Nielsen, he's been injured this year. He's another bloke that doesn't mind a Jack Daniels or Bundy rum. And
now we're talking.
He tips them back. So.
You reckon there's a couple blokes watching down there? Is the internet connection good enough out at Bragg there to watch it, boys? Give us a message if you're watching out there.
Boys, if you're listening, see you at training tomorrow night before 6 o'clock. I don't know.
Good luck to them.
I'm actually hoping the boys aren't watching because I might get a bit of stick. We did tour the week on a Thursday, so.
You're done.
If the boys see this, I might get a nomination.
Yeah. Well, you and Jared both, I suspect. Listen, Jared, thank you for joining us. First year as senior coach at Stratford. How's the year going for you guys in the senior grade at first?
Yeah, good. In the senior grade, they're really good. Great bunch of kids coming through. Sort of got that base 21 that we've had for a couple of years, but with injuries and stuff like that this year we've been able to play a lot of kids, and they've really stood up and played some good footy, and the future's looking really good in that respect. So it's good in the senior grade for that.
Yep. And the rest of the footy grades, how are they going? And the netball.
Yeah, netball. I think all same thing. All senior grades are in the top four, so hopefully they can go on from there and go well in the finals. The twos probably have been a bit ravaged from us during the year when we've got 8, 10 out. Sort of they lose a few, but they've got a good side on paper, so hopefully when we get a few back this week, they'll be able to test themselves out against a good Twos Boysdale outfit, see how they go.
Awesome. Now, obviously, who's your standout player been? I know you're the coach.
Oh, I couldn't say there's an actual standout with injuries and stuff like that. I could probably throw a blanket over the top 12, who's been really good.
Yep.
I think our best.
Name a couple, mate. Don't be
sitting on the fence. Where do you start? H at full forward's been outstanding. Timmy Hawkins when he's on. Bacon on his day. Yeah. You know, you go through it. Midfield, Bitchy Hawkins, Reggie Tate. You know.
What about Ducker? What's he doing then?
He's an enigma. He's an enigma, that kid. He does more probably behind the scenes than he gets credit for. You know, helping his teammates out, a few blocks and stuff like that. Whereas his weight in gold. So.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago when you played his hair and toppled his, he popped up there just at the right time of the day and helped get his Spurs along. Now, obviously you've seen everyone as well. Who's the best team? Well, I shouldn't say that. Who is the best team that you've played so far? And who you reckon can be? Obviously, you want to put yourself up, but who's probably the next dangerous? Do you think?
Yeah, Wyong were pretty strong when we faced them last time. It was a pretty sort of open, free-flowing game. But yeah, they were just very quick and very hard to get hold of. Yep. But something to look forward to. We go on from that, we learn, and we get them again in a couple of weeks. So it'd be good to give them a crack again before finals.
Now, just a quick one. What is Peter Morrison doing? Is he down at Sale? Did I see him in a Sale shirt on Facebook?
He's over at Sale now, doing the Twos coaching over there. Yep. So bit of a change of scene for him, and he's loving it, I think. He's enjoying it, and I think credit to him, I think Sale are going to play Twos. The Twos are going to make finals this year for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, they've struggled in the Twos for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, he's really good at gelling groups together. He's done an amazing job. Credit to him. I can't sit where I sit without the work he's done over the last 10 years too.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm assuming a couple of Gippy League clubs down there are just getting a couple of ear bashings from him. Week to week. Week to week.
I was on the sideline yelling, that's for sure.
Peter, if you're watching, mate, nothing. You're a good bloke.
So being, guys, the East Gippy Football Netball League's obviously fairly Bairnsdale-centric. You guys are at the far western end of the competition. What are the challenges? And, obviously, Jared, yourself or Sam, jump in. What are the biggest challenges for you guys that you face being, at that western end?
Yeah, look, I think for us, it's obviously you've got Bairnsdale down in all the clubs that surrounding that. It's maybe a little bit easier to try to pull guys out of Bairnsdale to go to those clubs. I think if we're to get blokes just either from Maffra, which can be harder because you've got Hayfield, Sale City, it's got sides like that. It's sort of, Boysdale don't have a pub. So it's sort of how do you get blokes out to Boysdale and things like that. So it's sort of, I find it for us it's really hard. You can get those couple from Maffra which help, but I think to really take the club somewhere, and I think over the years it's shown that Boysdale have had, could be 10 changes year to year. It's sort of hard to retain those guys there. So it's sort of, although it's not far out of Maffra, it's a club that, as I said, doesn't have a pub, it's a small little town that, relies on other towns, I suppose, to get it going. So it is tough in that sense, being a little small community with, not that big town around it as such, so.
Yeah, I think 3 leagues within sort of 15, 20 minute drive. A lot of pulling power, like good leagues, like Gippsland League, North Gippy, and then us. Makes it hard to keep hold of players that just want to jump about, and so that's the key, finding good young kids that want to stay and hang around and be a part of that culture and not just come in and go. And I think the under 17 and halves in our league is a bit of a struggle down that way because the kids want to play with their mates and play as a kid as long as you can. So down there all the leagues are under 18s. Yeah. So once if they miss that bracket, that 6-month bracket, you're sort of losing a lot of kids that could be good ones footies or twos footy players
just
for
good
the
club
club.
people. Yeah.
But then you lose them for that 6 months, and that could be all it takes for them to then stay away, and you lose that opportunity with a good bunch of kids. So.
Well, I guess that sort of rolls into who was the best off-field performer at Stratty beside yourself. I heard you, I've got a bit of late mail, so I pulled my phone out. Did you play together at Maffra?
Yeah, we did a couple of years,
So, one of the boys was messaging me and was asking like how the Maffra nightlife was down there. I think
Surrey, yes, of course.
So I think we've put you in on you're the best performer out of Stratty.
Maybe in my heyday. It's currently not my heyday, so that's a good thing. Our best performer, there's a few.
It's just rolled over that.
Consistency over a long period of time, you'd have to say Jack Bacon's a fairly good performer. But there's a couple of young kids coming up trying to take the mantle. We had our ball on the weekend, so Alex Morecambe, Jack Ronalds, Billy Hutton, just a few names to watch out for off the field, I think. So,
keep it up, boys.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Listen, thanks guys so much for coming down, and I've broken my promise from earlier. We're 26 minutes over time at the moment, so
I'm thinking we've gone longer than the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't like it, turn off.
Yeah, exactly. And talking to blokes from Maffra that are sending late mail, Trent Noble's just texted me from Gippsland Power to say, sorry, I just got back from training, mate. Come on, that's too late. So listen, thank you so much guys for coming on the show. All the best to you, Jared, in September, and all the best to you next year, Sam, in your endeavours.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Listen, that brings our show to a close. Thanks, fellas. Cheers. For another episode, sorry for running over time. Listen, we'd just like to thank our special guests, Alana Solomon, Sean Mooney, Richard Bakos, Caitlin Wheeler, Ash Watt, Darren Allen, and Jared Clossy, and Sam Bedgegood.
Thanks to all our guests that we spoke to during the week on the pre-recorded videos, along with the businesses that let us intrude the term, Lloyd's Menwear, Style & Co for the awesome haircuts, Inland Surf, get down there and get some sex wax. And a big thanks to Gordon Bell for Pillow Talk. Thanks to Jeff behind the camera, he doesn't always get seen. Thanks to the Lucknow Footy Club for hosting us. Bensdale Party Hire for this awesome backdrop. So if you've got a function coming up, make sure you get along, get that popcorn machine, because I know the kids will love it.
It's been fun again. I hope you've enjoyed it, Reece. I have, so thank you.
I have.
Listen, we hope all you guys have enjoyed it as well. We've got an email address, akickinthebush@gmail.com, if you want to send us in your ideas, any ideas for segments, feedback, that sort of stuff. And
only positivity.
That's all we're interested in. We've also got the Facebook page. Listen, to finish off the show on a solemn note, the East Gippsland football netball community lost a great family member last week in the name of Mel Neal. We pass on our condolences to Mel's family, and we hope that this short tribute gives a glimpse of how much he meant to everyone. Thank you.
It's a bit of a shock, this, because Mel was a much loved and respected member of the Gippsland Power Football Cup family, and really will be sadly missed. And I think if you go on the Gippsland Power website, Facebook page now, and see how many past players and families that have put likes up or had comments, you'd see that Malcolm was a really respected member of our, as I said, of the Gippsland Power family.
Mel was part of the fabric of the Painesville Football Netball Club. Mel was here all winter. He was here for Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, taking deliveries, helping our team in the canteen, giving them a bit of cheek and advice.
It would have impacted well over 1,000 kids in the Gippsland area over his time, and that time span would be some 25 or 6 years that he spent with Gippsland Power, either driving the bus to training or driving the bus to away trips up and down the highway. And I know that over that period, Mel a lot of times would ring me and ask me for players' numbers so he could, because he loved just seeing the boys doing well, or the girls now, and doing well, whether it be at local level or VFL level or AFL level. And as I said, would call me for their numbers so he could get on the phone and personally congratulate them.
He knew everyone in the club, whether you'd been here a week, a month or 30 years. Mel knew your name. We're going to miss Mel. He means everything to this place, and we'll do everything we can to honour you, Mel. Thank you for everything you did. Rest in peace, mate.
As I said, he was a much loved and respected member of the Gippsland Power family, and he will be sadly missed.